What's up, you guys? ShartimusPrime here, doing another G.I. Joe Classified action figure review on the Hasbro Pulse exclusive G.I. Joe Classified Serpentor and Air Charriot. I have been wanting this thing so bad ever since I saw it at San Diego Comic-Con. Big thank you, Greg. I bought him off him at cost and he shipped it over here super fast. Thank you so much, Greg. I really appreciate it, and I really like this packaging over here. It looks really good. It is taped together right over here. On the side, you can see 57. We have spot varnished logos right over here. Not on the top, though. On the back, nice artwork. That looks beautiful. Really cool stuff. Ooh, bloodletting. And then on that side right here, you can see some spot varnished logos. And then not much more at the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this thing open right now so we could kind of see what's inside over here, because this is all exclusive packaging and I want to see all the cool stuff it offers. So let's go ahead and slide this off like that. Oh man, and I do keep the boxes to these things. Wow, that looks sick. Oh man, that looks dope. Wow. All right, there's quite a few accessories over here. Okay, guys, let's get to it and crack this thing open. And here's Serpentor with his Air Charriot out of the packaging. And I gotta say, this is a pretty awesome set. The Serpentor figure himself is actually very cool, very large. And I do have minor complaints, which I will discuss in this video, but I am mostly just very, very stoked for this thing. Let's get a closer look at the accessories. Then we'll take a closer look at the figure, and then we'll take a closer look at the Air Charriot. So this doesn't look like a lot, but we do get a lot with this purchase. You get this dual blade right over here, which is extended, and then you have a more retracted version, which I'll show off later on, which is attached to the figure at the moment. And then you also have these interchangeable headdress pieces, which we'll get a closer look at when I swap this onto the figure as well. We'll get a closer look at the paint apps. But first, I want to look at the Cobra, because yeah, this is Cobra, right? So looks really good. I like the red paint. They could have painted the teeth white, but they're just green, it looks like right there, or maybe gray. But, you know, it's cool. I wish we had a bendy wire thing going on, but it's neat for the display and everything. So I like the scales and everything. Texturing looks really good. You also get this stabby snake right over here, which he apparently uses to kill Duke, but then they retconned that idea or rewrote it because of the whole debacle with Optimus Prime. So they changed that in the G.I. Joe movie, which I don't know is for the better or worse, but anyway, that was kind of neat that he stabbed and killed Duke with this thing. And then you get this nice sword, which has this bright silver paint on it. Really like the sculpt, and you get a little bit of red right over there. I think he uses this more in the comics. I did some research on the character. I don't know my G.I. Joe lore very well. I played with G.I. Joe toys more so than actually watching the G.I. Joe cartoon as a kid. You get a little bit of marbling right here in the gold plastic. You can see that right there, but it's not as bad as I've seen on like a lot of Marvel Legends. This looks actually really good on the front. So I am liking that. And then it's not as shiny or glossy right over here. It's just more of a metallic sheen right there. And then it's matte. And then you get the red dots. And then, yeah, looking at these, they do have the silver paint on them. So I like that. That's very cool. And you can see that they have painted this with some nice bright gold paint. This was a little bit warped. So you could see a before and then an after. So yeah, I'll demonstrate putting this on the figure in a second, but yeah, that looks really good. And then you have this piece right here as well. Nicely sculpted. Man, everything's nicely sculpted. So I am seeing some glossiness on the face right there. Not ideal. However, you know, if I angle it away from the light, it looks just fine. That photoreal tech actually looks really good on the face. Really like the sculpt. The sculpting throughout the whole figure is just incredible, and I don't mean to be incredibly redundant, but I'm going to try to not say that over and over because I want to, because I keep seeing things like, oh, sculpted scales here, sculpted cool stuff there. Like, it's just really, really well done throughout. And they have this whole genius thing going on right over here with the headdress, so you can remove it right over there. Again, this looks great. So what you want to do is just lift up and then pull away, and you can see the little gap right there. And then I like to put the headpiece on first here, and then you could go ahead and just snap this on the back of the figure, and now you get head articulation, and that is just a very, very cool way of doing it, because yeah, the other way you can't move the head at all whatsoever. And then now we have this option right over here, which is just freaking badass. And badass is a great way to describe the rest of the figure. I love this vibrant gold. I love how big this figure is. I love the scales right over here. Pinless joints. Nice looking hands and arms right here. I didn't know about this, but like the character has these snake heads for fists. You see that? It's the nose of the snake right there. And then you can see the eye of the snake on the side. Really cool thing. I guess interchangeable hands would have been cool to have with this figure. But man, that looks so dope. And then you can see the more retracted claw right over there. So you could swap that out, then replace it with this one right over here. So he's more ready for battle. He has trigger fingers sticking out. Man, nice looking paint details. Paint apps came out looking really clean on my figure. I love how the cape looks. Wish we had a bendy wire in it, but still, I'm very happy. Like this whole scaling, texturing throughout on the cape. I don't even know how they did this, but it is awesome. I think it looks fantastic. Man, this is so cool. The inside is just flat right over there, and there are some little extra stringies, which I'll cut off with scissors instead of yanking on them. You know, if you see this, don't yank on it, just cut them with the scissors. But looking at the back of the figure right here, you can see some more sculpting going on, and the tail's painted. And then you have gold painted throughout on the back of the figure, unlike a lot of Marvel Legends figures where they skimp out on that. This is all painted right over here. I guess you could say the same for this piece, but he has a cape, man. Come on, you know? And the whole snake going around the back is painted. Love the gold right there on the side. More pinless joints for the lower portion. You can see where the pins are covered, actually. If you look closely, you could kind of see that, right? But the green paint apps look great on the armor right here, and knee pads. God, and the snake head right there looks really good. The gold paint goes all the way through. Oh, it just looks so badass to me, man. I'm so happy with this. I'll get into the articulation in a second, but one flaw that I found with this figure, and it depends on how cold it is, but if it's a little bit cold in your area or when you're playing with this figure, this swivel joint on the boot makes it tricky to move this lower knee joint. So at first, you can see that top joint's moving, but if I just want that lower joint to move, I could do it now because I did heat this up with a hairdryer. But before, it was like wanting to split at the calf cut instead of bending at the knee. So if you have that issue, heat it up before you start messing with that, or you're likely to pop this off, which I didn't do, but I was scared to. So I just wanted to pass that on. And then you have some nice gold on the boots with peg holes at the bottom of the feet. This is so dope. Man, I really love how this came out. The gold plastic that they used over here with the gold paint on top of it. I just absolutely love it. And these discs are painted right here. You can see the mouth right over there with the teeth hanging out, which is a little tricky to get to. Like when you get this, the mouth is closed and you do have to put that on. There is assembly required, of course. It does come with directions and they're very easy to follow, man. But you can see that when you open this up right here, you do have to like dig in there to pull that gun down. So you can see the gun is on a hinge. Then you really have to reach in there to pull the teeth down. So I'll use one of the claws right over here to kind of reach in there and pick the teeth down. So it's silver on silver in case anything happens, you know. But so far I've had good luck with that. At first I thought there was like a mechanism to this, but I guess not. So I don't know. I'm going to leave it like that for right now. And then you do have to port this on right over here too. And you get some dials and stuff right here on the inside of it. Man, they have a lot of details here. Like all these bolts and everything. Jeez. This is so sick. Damn, this is awesome. Yeah. And you get a little bit of gold smeared on there. You have this turbine, which you could kind of turn around right here in the back. I wish there was a button that I could push to make it spin, you know? That would be nice. There are some toyetic features that I am kind of longing here for. It's like my adult collector side of me wants to kind of step out of the room for a second, and the kid in me just wants to kind of do cool stuff with the toys, you know what I mean? I don't know. You may have that feeling when you grab this. Anyway, this is great right here. You get the ammo going through. You do have to put this together. You know, they poured in just fine right over here. Very easy to do, and I think it looks good. I like how these look. You can get some caution gun reactor right over there. You don't have to apply any stickers or anything like that. I'm not seeing any marbling in this plastic, but it is a harder plastic than I usually see on the figures. And then you can see the Cobra logo with the crown on top of it right there. And then you get some more clean deco. You have to port these on when you put it together. Then you can see underneath right over here, we get these nice air vents or heat vents with a little touch of orange going through there. Really tricky to pick up, but you can see it. It's a little bit of orange going through the middle. More vents right over there. Then underneath, you can see we have some more deco bolts and everything throughout. And it has a nice metallic sheen in it. You can see the fleck, the metallic fleck in this hard plastic. You have the landing gear right here. I wish there was a way to get this thing up in the air. That would have been nice if they can get some kind of port so it could go up in the air, and then you pull down right over here for this front one. So that's neat. At least it's, you know, not on the ground all the time. You have these supporting it. But man, this is dope. I really like it a lot. Just want to look at this side right over here too. Looks sick. So to go over the articulation, we don't get a neck hinge on this figure, but with the neck joint and the head joint, I mean, he does look up very far, and he has this, you know, the whole frill piece over here in the back getting in the way. You can move the neck and head downward that much. You do get great head pivoting over here, and you can turn side to side, and you can make the neck turn side to side a little bit in there. We do have butterfly joints. They tend to get caught with the cape. You know, I tend to have to pull the cape away from the armpits a little bit here and there. But yeah, that will move forward and back. You get shoulders that move out to about 90 degrees. You can move the arms all the way in, rotate a full 360, bicep swivel. Then you get the pinless double jointed elbows that bend in just that far, and then the wrists turn side to side and they hinge up and down. Then you have a diaphragm cut right here that turns side to side. You get diaphragm pivot, crunches forward a little bit and back, and then similar articulation at the waist where it turns side to side, pivots, moves forward and back. So crunching all the way forward with both joints, you'll move forward that much, and with both joints, you'll move back that far. And with both joints pivoting that much right there, he does have those G.I. Joe classified drop-down hips, and they do move outward. Like, wow, he could do the full-on splits. And then he can kick forward, back, upper thigh cut, and then the pinless double-jointed knees, and I am getting that to work okay. You also get the cut right there at the calf. Ankles move down, ankles move up, and he has beautiful ankle pivot. Now to measure out Serpentor and his air chariot, you can see that the figure is standing just a bit over 7 inches tall. The air chariot's actually a little bit shorter, standing at about 6.5 inches tall, and you can see it's going at about 8 inches across. Then for some size comparisons, here we have Serpentor. Next to Baroness, we have Destro, Storm Shadow, and a Bat Trooper. Now, I don't know a whole ton about Serpentor, but I do know that he's a clone, and he has like the mind and abilities of all the biggest a-holes in history, right? Like Genghis Khan and Attila the Hun and all these conquerors, right? But I saw somewhere where they used the body of Storm Shadow to make him. So I don't know if just because he's a clone, he's supposed to be extra huge or what. Let me know in the comment section below. Or if the whole Storm Shadow body thing was only a thing from the comics and not the cartoon, I don't know. But let me know how tall you think he's supposed to be. The fact that he's a clone and he's a genetically created person, you know, from Dr. Mindbender and Destro, well, I don't mind him being extra large. And then here's Serpentor next to Cobra Commander and Duke. And I saw somewhere that Serpentor is supposed to be like a foot taller. So I don't know. That looks about right to me. No? I don't know. What do you think? I think it looks okay. Then here's Serpentor next to another snake-themed character. We have the Masters of the Universe classic Serpentine King Hiss. And I thought I had a regular version of King Hiss, but I don't. So now I'm on the hunt for that one. If anyone has an extra they're willing to sell, let me know. Then here's Serpentor next to your average 6-inch scale figure. We have the Marvel Legends Big Time Letdown Spider-Man. Whoa. Oh, God. Oh, I know how to get out of this one. Hail Hydra. Wrong franchise. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, show some love to the channel by simply clicking that like button. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell. I do have a Dr. Mindbender on the way, so that I hope to review on this channel as well. I also have other G.I. Joe reviews on my second channel called Russ Toy Reviews, so subscribe to that. I'll have a link in the description below. This is an awesome figure. I love this figure. This is an incredible piece, man. I have had so much fun with this thing. I think it looks awesome. I really like the articulation a lot. I mean, once I was able to heat things up, I was able to get things moving the way I wanted to. So that really wasn't a big issue for me. I'd rather have that than have loose joints that won't ever get fixed. You know what I mean? So heating the figure up now and then to get the joints to move doesn't bother me so much. I have had a great time displaying it with other figures from my G.I. Joe Classified collection. I just think it looks badass. I'm just very happy with this thing. The Air Chariot is dope too. It looks great, man. I'm very pleased with the paint apps, the sculpt, as I mentioned many times, the functionality, the ease of putting everything together, the quality of plastic and everything has just worked out really well, man. I'm very pleased with this. It's not a cheap purchase by any means, but I feel like it was worth it. To me, I'm happy with it. So for the price point of around $80, not a cheap purchase by any means, but still I'm gonna give it a Sun rating of... And I'd like to know what you guys think. I would prefer closer to like $60, but it's a large figure and it's a good sized vehicle over here, so I'm happy, man. I like what I got in hand over here. I'm pleased with this. It looks dope. Anyway, I'd like to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comment section below. If you want to see a photo gallery of images and the latest in action figure news, you can find it all over at toynewseye.com. And if you want to stay in touch with me on social media, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, and on Whatnot this Thursday night at 6 p.m. Pacific time. I will be auctioning off some figures, so stay tuned for that, or else I'll catch you guys later. Peace!
That's crispy.
Hey, new ShartimusPrime videos. Hey, you should click one. Yeah, click on one of them. Or subscribe if you haven't.